In the world of the unexplained, few stories are as infamous and widely debated as the Enfield Poltergeist. This chilling case, which took place in a quiet London suburb in the late 1970s, remains one of the most well-documented paranormal events in history. Investigated by journalists, skeptics, and renowned paranormal researchers, the events that transpired at 284 Green Street in Enfield have continued to haunt the minds of those who dare to explore its mysteries. Was it a genuine haunting, an elaborate hoax, or something in between? This deep dive will take you through the terrifying details of what happened in that house and the lingering questions that still remain. In 1977, Peggy Hodgson, a single mother, lived with her 4 children, Margaret, 13, Janet, 11, Johnny, 10, and Billy, 7, in a modest council-owned home in Enfield, North London. Life was tough, but they got by. However, what began as an ordinary existence soon spiraled into one of the most chilling hauntings ever recorded. It all started one night in August when Janet and Johnny, who shared a bedroom, complained that their beds were shaking. At first, Peggy dismissed their fears as nightmares or childish imagination. But the disturbances escalated quickly. Soon, objects in the house began to move on their own. The children reported hearing knocking sounds coming from the walls and furniture. Drawers opened and closed without anyone touching them. A heavy chest of drawers slid across the room, seemingly propelled by an unseen force. Peggy tried pushing it back, but it wouldn't budge, as if something invisible was holding it in place. Terrified, the Hodgson family fled their home and sought help from their neighbors, the Nottinghams. Vic Nottingham, a large and physically strong man, entered the house to investigate. He later recalled hearing loud knocking sounds coming from the walls, which he could not explain. Convinced that something truly bizarre was happening, he urged Peggy to call the police. On August 31, 1977, the police arrived at the Hodgson home. One officer, WPC Carolyn Heaps, witnessed a chair move across the room without any visible cause. She signed a written statement attesting to this, but since no crime had been committed, there was little the police could do. The media soon got wind of the bizarre happenings, and journalists from the Daily Mirror arrived to investigate. Their first visit yielded little, but as they were about to leave, sudden loud crashes erupted from inside the house. They rushed back in to find furniture overturned and the family in a state of panic. With the phenomena escalating, the Society for Psychical Research, SPR, became involved. Maurice Gross, an experienced paranormal investigator, was the first to arrive. Gross, who had recently lost his own daughter, took a deep personal interest in the case and spent extensive time with the family. He was later joined by Guy Lyon Playfair, a fellow SPR investigator. Over the next 18 months, the duo recorded over 2,000 incidents, including levitations, objects being hurled across rooms, and chilling, unexplained voices. Janet, in particular, seemed to be the focus of the disturbances. She was frequently found in trances, speaking in a deep, guttural voice that did not sound like her own. Perhaps the most disturbing aspect of the Enfield case was the eerie voice that seemed to emanate from Janet. In recorded interviews, she spoke in a rough, masculine tone, identifying herself as Bill. "Just before I died, I went blind, and then I had a hemorrhage, and I fell asleep, and I died in the chair in the corner downstairs," the voice claimed. Investigators later confirmed that a man named Bill Wilkins had once lived in the house and had died exactly as the voice described. His son later corroborated these details, even though Janet had no prior knowledge of them. While many believed in the Hodgsons' experiences, skeptics argued that the case was either an elaborate hoax or the result of psychological distress. Some pointed out that Janet and Margaret were caught faking some of the phenomena, though they insisted they had only done so on rare occasions to see if the investigators would catch them. Critics also argued that Janet's possession voice could have been a result of ventriloquism or subconscious psychological projection. However, doctors who examined her found no medical explanation for her ability to sustain the unnatural voice for long periods without damaging her vocal cords. The paranormal activity continued for over a year, peaking in late 1978. The family experienced frightening episodes of Janet levitating and being thrown across the room. One particularly horrifying event saw her pinned against the ceiling by an unseen force. Eventually, the disturbances began to subside, though occasional incidents continued for several years. The Hodgsons eventually moved out of the home, and the activity seemed to cease. Janet Hodgson later admitted that about 2% of the events were faked but maintained that the overwhelming majority of occurrences were real. As an adult, She has distanced herself from the sensationalism surrounding the case but has never retracted her claims. Maurice Grosse remained a firm believer in the Enfield Poltergeist until his death in 2006, while Guy Lyon Playfair also maintained that most of the events were genuine. The case has since been the subject of numerous documentaries, books, and even a Hollywood adaptation in The Conjuring 2. Yet, despite the extensive documentation, it remains one of the most controversial paranormal cases ever recorded. The Enfield Poltergeist is a case that continues to divide opinion. On one side, there are those who believe the Hodgson family experienced something truly inexplicable. On the other, skeptics argue that it was an elaborate deception fueled by media attention and psychological factors. Whatever the truth may be, the Enfield case remains a haunting reminder that some mysteries refuse to be explained. Was it a ghost? A subconscious manifestation of Janet's distress? Or something far stranger? The answer, it seems, is still lurking in the shadows of 284 Green Street, waiting for the next brave soul willing to uncover it.
If you enjoyed this video and want to dive deeper into more cases like this one, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to like the video if you found the story compelling, and share it with your friends and family who might be interested in true crime and mysteries. By subscribing, you'll stay up to date with all our latest content and join a growing community of curious minds exploring the most fascinating cases. Click the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Your support means everything.